This was a Brain Freeze podcast.
Superman, Aquaman, all the superheroes. They always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of...
We would love to hear from you residents, so send a question for next week's episode.
Oh, yeah. Next week's episode is going to be on characters with like extrasensory perception. So heightened senses or different senses or things like that. That's what we're talking about next week.
Nice. So you can reach out to us through our Facebook,
Dr. DC Podcast.
our Twitter,
At Dr. DC.
our Instagram,
Dr. DC Podcast.
of course, our email.
DrDCPodcast@gmail.com.
Make sure you jump on that subreddit.
r/Dr_DC.
And of course, the duck phone is always open.
208-917-3238.
That's 208-917-DCEU. If you're nasty.
if you're of the nasty variety.
Oh, I don't like that. And speaking of the doctor not understanding youth culture, he's on TikTok.
Oh, yeah. I'm at Dr. DC.
And of course,
Baby.
other things that he's not good at, we have a website.
DrDCPodcast.com.ca.
And of course,
Fuck you.
like you heard at the end of this episode, make sure to give us a 5-star review.
That's right. We love them. If they're not on like Apple Podcasts or Facebook, make sure you send a little screenshot so that we can read it on the episode because we love doing that. Yeah. That helps us a lot.
That's right. And speaking of helping us, send me things.
Yeah. Well, us. You can send us things.
You could also send the doctor things. You could send it to the doctor at some address in the Yukon, or you could send it to Richard Eden
or Reed Vanier
at 301 Hogue Street, Whitehorse, Yukon, Canada, Y1A1V8. And if you want to continue that support train that you're going to run on us, make sure to subscribe to our Patreon.
Yeah, patreon.com/Dr. DC. We've gotten a bunch of new people joining lately.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So thank you all for joining if you just joined, and thank you all for having joined if you've been with us for a while.
Right.
Yeah, there's 3 different levels: $1, $5, $7. They all give you access to the Doc Squad, our awesome fan community. There's a ton of fun stuff happening there. We're talking about Hellboy and Hell right now on the book club channel. There's some like ongoing like Doxners votes and things.
Is that coming up soon? Are we doing that soon?
We will be. We will. It's in a little while.
Oh, okay.
And at the higher levels, you have bonus episodes every week, the double dose. We do videos and stuff. Well, I do them. Richard doesn't anymore. He did 2, and then he was like, eh.
It's a lot of work. I got stuff going on.
But there's lots of extra stuff, and it helps support us. It helps us keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, most importantly, it supports us. And if you want to continue to do that, listen to our other podcast, The Main Feed.
That's right. Ghostfacers, a supernatural rewatch. You conned me into saying it, into agreeing with it. We're rewatching every single episode of CW Supernatural.
Next week, we start season 4.
Finally, yes.
Yeah.
We actually, for real, will start season 4 next week.
I don't understand. This is a system we always have. At the end of a season, we do a recap. We've done it since the beginning.
And having a show that we're like, next week is this. And then we're like, oh, shit, we forgot this thing. Uh-oh.
Good thing we've never done that with this one.
But yeah, go check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Now on to our favorite game.
Yeah. All right. I'm ready.
So, time to play. Can you guess the name of the character based on someone who does not read comic books could describe that character to us?
My favorite thing about this game is how I'm always so warmed up for it.
Well, yeah, that's the best part about it. Yeah. You've been talking comics the whole episode and you're ready to do it.
That's true.
So, if you don't know how this game works, I send a photo of a DC character to my wife who does not read comic books, nor does she care for them. She sends back 4 clues describing what she sees.
Oh my God.
That's right.
This is such a specific reference. It made me think of the voice modulator specifically from True Lies. Like, your code name is Doris.
Your code name is Doris.
You have to go to them.
That's
like,
right. Oh no!
Do it doucement. Do it very slowly.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay. The first of 4 clues: Silver Fox.
Silver Fox. King Faraday.
Incorrect.
That'd
have been cool.
Christopher Chance.
No. The favorite religious representative.
Yeah, that's close. Oh my God. He's the human target? Holy shit.
I thought that was Ryan.
Give me another clue.
Okay, next clue. Roman chariot outfit vibes.
Silver Fox and Roman like centurion outfit vibes.
Sure.
Well, no, I'm that was what the clues were.
Yeah.
Sure. I'd be gaslit immediately after the clue.
Whatever you say, man. That's what you think.
Alpha Centurion.
No.
Son of Vulcan.
No. Get your fucking hands up.
Silver Scarab.
No.
All right.
Third
clue, please.
clue. Recycled graduation robe.
Okay. Something vaguely Centurion.
Yep.
Silver Fox and a recycled graduation robe. Interesting. Well, fuck. I'm having a hard time with this.
You're gonna be real upset with yourself.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really, really should know this. Okay, I got to take these clues bit at a time. Silver Fox. He's got the silver hair. Who else could fit in that? Warlord, Travis Morgan. Interesting. Give me the final clue.
The last and final clue. Clint Eastwood as Zaddy Zeus.
I mean, it's not Zeus.
It's not. That'd
That'd be crazy.
That's correct. That it's incorrect.
Right. Yeah. Clint Eastwood as Zaddy Zeus.
Yes.
So that the Zeus thing and the robe thing from the previous clue feel like they're maybe connected, like the that sort of garb. The silver hair. Is it Ares?
Nope. You're gonna really be upset by this one.
Because all the signs are pointing to something kind of classical or whatever. The Roman centurion thing, looking like a Zeus, having a robe.
Totally. You're not wrong.
Is it an Olympian? Am I like close?
No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. You have the right mindset. You're pointing it in the wrong direction.
Right. Okay.
Somebody's screaming right now.
Right. It's weird. Normally, I feel like I'm more warmed up for this than I am today. I don't know what's different.
Me either.
Okay. Motherfucker.
Are you giving up?
Robe. Gotta look kind of classical.
Yep.
Silver hair.
Definitely.
But I'm not going to the Olympian thing. I gotta go what is the other way to go? It's
Some would say maybe even the opposite way. I don't know. Or the sideways way.
I mean, none of that, but it's like, oh, Trojans, oh, Romans. No, that's not it. Egyptians?
Nope.
No.
Do you need the photo? Are you giving up?
It's not coming to me.
You ready?
I want to think that I'm going to get there, but I don't think I will.
I've heard that before.
Wow. Wow. That was so vulnerable of you.
Yeah, this is what I'm here for. I'm just a vulnerable guy. That's who I am. Are you ready to be really upset?
Yes.
I'm really...
Do you know me?
Okay, here we go.
Motherfucking Highfather, son of a bitch. Of course it's fucking Highfather. Oh, you idiot. You stupid idiot.
I told you.
You stupid moron idiot. Fuck. Fuck. Of course it's fucking Highfather. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I just got to wear that one.
That's right. Yeah.
Fuck.
All right, let's talk about this week's theme.
Sure.
Bizarro.
Yeah. Me have episode time.
Have episode time. Which means we are going to go right to the doc scored.
Oh.
Come on. What? You know this has been coming all episode. Let's go.
It's the only song I have in my head. It's so insane.
Do it. Do it now.
Go down, scored me, baby.
Like a little scored.
I've been ducks and scored.
Scored me, baby.
The only song in my head is fucking Adele.
You know what that means? You've been on TikTok for too long.
And I'm sad and I love Adele.
I mean, yeah, those two statements are true.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. They're not mutually exclusive.
All right. Let's go to the first question from Bruno. Bruno. God, could we get into accents? Like, I feel like this is a thing that's...
Yeah, we could be vocal coaches.
It's not racist if you're accurate, right?
Uh-oh.
It's going to be on my...
That feels like it's going to be a lot of big swings.
That's going to be on my tombstone, I think.
It's not racist if it's accurate. Jesus Christ.
All right, Bruno asks,
Good Lord.
what would your Bizarro selves be like
Ooh.
in Bizarro World? And how different would the podcast be in there? Would we finally get some good takes from the doc?
Well, first of all, fuck you.
I wonder if Bruno and Kyle would really get along.
No, I can't have everyone get along with Kyle better than me.
At least they only want me with you, so...
Yeah. I think that's where you really shine. I think I bring out the best in you.
Is this like a Bizarro thing?
Right. I mean, the thing with the Bizarro world is that it's not opposites.
No.
I mean, some things are,
Yes.
but it's not like a perfect opposite thing.
No, because some things are
it
just the
is
things.
It's just bizarre.
It's more about intent is opposite, I think.
Intent is opposite, but also it's like just things are always the most difficult version of themselves too.
Yeah.
Like imagine just like cosmically how difficult the physics would be to make a cubic planet. But
Yeah.
that's what they have. Because everything in that universe is the most difficult, convoluted possible version of it. So
what you're saying is that I would probably just record this podcast on like an iPhone with a couple mics attached to them, like decent mics, but like not super nice.
And I think you'd be one of those people that just like really only takes time off. Work as little as you can get away with, I think. You're like, me, I'm work hard.
Yeah.
just you lounging with a drink.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think that would be you.
Yeah.
I guess I would be like, I'd be like really buff. I'd be really buff and like I'd have my mental health together, but like I would be like a pariah to society. I would not blend in. Like right now, I think I blend in pretty well, but I'm like depressed and out of shape.
The 6'3",
But I think
like
when I
270-pound guy blends in.
No, but what I mean is like, fuck you. But what I mean is like, people would be like, like
You'd be too hot to handle.
I'd be like hot and happy and like life's good. And I've got work ethic, and people would be like, "What? Oh, he he am need help. Like, like that am cry for help.
Yeah, that just sounds like most guys at every gym.
I think that would be me then
Yeah.
in Bizarro world.
Yeah, it's those like fucking meatheads. You'd be a meathead.
I'd be a meathead, yeah.
That's it.
Oh, shit. That's right. Yeah, so what would change with the podcast then? I guess you'd be the smart. I'd be like the me no am read. I meant like I wouldn't read. I realized that's also my name.
Yes. We just talk about like the covers of comic books. It's just like
yeah. I guess it could theoretically also be a Marvel podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. We already do things the most complicated ways.
Yeah. It's both a little opposite
Not
and
today,
also
though.
just
Not
it,
today.
it'd be you would hear the struggle, I think.
Yeah. Not like today.
No.
Easy.
Everything about this is easy. Go easy on me, baby.
Like a little
I
child.
was just a child.
Look,
Couldn't get further from rock and roll.
I know the song. I think.
I know that. I know that bit.
Yep. Our next question comes from Richard and Doc Vore. Yeah, eat me. Eat me.
Like a Ivor, like oh god,
Well, that's like a specific type of porn.
Vor?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Do you not? Oh, did you not know what Vore meant?
No. Well, I only in the context of it being like part of a word like carnivore or herbivore or something.
Oh,
Is there like a cannibal porn thing? Is that what vor porn is?
I'm
Oh no.
I'm almost certain that that's what that is. I'm gonna double check it right now.
Oh Jesus.
Um.
Oh stepbrother, I'm stuck in the oven.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, it's in related to eating, but it's a typically erotic desire, a sexual fantasy consuming another person. Yeah. So yeah, it's cannibalism. Yeah.
Oh jeez Louise.
Yeah, I thought you'd do that. Yeah.
Why would you think I'd know that?
Because it's, I don't know, eating.
Fair.
It's a type of eating.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't crossed that final frontier yet for eating.
Only just because you're worried you're going to like it too much.
Well, it's possible. I do like pork.
I'm not as much as like a long pig as like a short and fat pig.
Listen, people are supposed to be very close to pork. I fucking love pork.
Yeah.
I cannot cross that line. I have one rule.
Nobody make me bleed
Can you
my
imagine
own
if
blood.
Batman was like, I have one rule. I don't eat people.
Human
and then everyone's
meat.
like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
This guy's a fucking psycho. His one rule
Wait,
is that he has to
why did he have to? Yeah, that's
He has to make a rule.
Oh, and I want to do it so bad. Punch Joker in the face so I could taste his blood.
Oh, good. Easy, Army Hammer.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
Aren't they all?
God, but God, does he look great on screen?
Oh, and just fucking split me open.
Love to watch him hammer an army.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So
It'd be
Richard,
like one of those strategy games, like wave upon wave of army breaking on his hammer. On army.
oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Can he throw the hammer like Thor?
No, because it's its dick. It's just attached
Oh,
to him.
wow! There goes all the sub of that text. Richard and Doc Vore asks, is opposite day on Bizarro world like squaring a negative, or does the mere concept of that happening implode the whole thing?
Yeah. Well, again, so continuing that idea of like, what does it mean to be Bizarro?
Yeah.
It's not full opposite. Because if it was full opposite, and someone else brought this up, but it didn't make it in as like a question. Like he doesn't say like bad hello instead of goodbye. You know what I mean? Like it's not like full opposites. It's like it's just sometimes it's flipped. Like he says like me, I hate this, but he loves it. You know, but he's still saying me.
Yeah.
He doesn't like you doesn't mean me. Right? Like not everything is opposited, which just, again,
makes it more complicated.
It makes it more complicated. It makes it super inconsistent, but I think it's also the thing that makes it so fun is like, you have to like, if you were in a conversation with Pizarra, you have to pick and choose like which words are the way we interpret them and which are the way he interprets
Because
them.
luckily, like at least a lot of the time in the comics, they like bold the words that are opposite.
Sure, yeah. You could give little hints or something, yeah.
It still makes it like twice as long to read.
Oh, totally. But that's kind of funny though, and I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like, so it's, and to the kind of the construction of this question, Bizarro uses double negatives a lot too, where he goes like, "Me am worst hero world never seen."
Yes.
So you are the best hero the world has ever seen.
Yes.
That's both what he means and literally what he says.
Yeah.
But he's saying it.
Opposite, so it sounds.
So he's actually saying the right thing.
Yeah. But it's
kind
also.
of, but it's
Yeah.
also wrong. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like that shit is so in the Bizarro speak too.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
So is opposite day on Bizarro like squaring a negative?
Yeah, opposite day on Bizarro World. Well, I mean, listen, there is a character I can think of on Bizarro World who does not think like other Bizarros,
Oh.
and it's Metallo.
Oh.
On that world, Metallo has like a computer brain, and because it's a computer and it works on logic, he's the only rational thinker on
That's very
Bizarro
funny.
World. But that implies that even in the messed up physics of the Bizarro universe, where there are cubic planets and things like that, logic remains intact.
Yeah.
The way a computer
Yeah.
works, and logic, in fact, leads to rationality the way we perceive it. It implies objective rationality. So even that's like fucking weird.
Jesus.
But there are people that are like opposite on Bizarro, or Metallo is one of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess like opposite day would be like, I guess them like awkwardly pretending to be like, I am having a good day, and then they all kind of like frown because it's a great joke.
Yeah.
Like,
That's very funny. All right. Next question from Gunnar, who asks,
yeah,
I'm going to say it like
Gunner,
I barely know her.
Gunner.
Oh no. But she's just a child.
So I grab my gun.
All right.
I shoot.
Yeah, we-
the little child.
The moment where we both were trying to figure out, like, is there a gun version of E? That silent second, that's what just happened there, in case anybody was curious. It was both of us going, how can we make gun and the sound E connect? What's the thing? And then watching me fail and the dog go, fuck it, I'm just going to say shoot. In case anybody was curious. All right.
I haven't had a sip of this yet. Is this rosé?
Yeah,
Hold
it
on,
is.
give me rosé.
I did.
That's nice.
You're a classy bitch. This is a special day.
Wow.
You look good today.
Wait a minute. Is this Bizarro talk?
This is the second time I complimented you on that shirt.
Yeah, but you could be really committing.
Me? Commit to a joke? Doesn't sound like me. Gunnar asks, can you give a quick rundown of his part in the Red Hood and the Outlaws series? Is it worth reading?
Do you know what? Weirdly, the rebirth run of Red Hood. and
Sure,
the Outlaws.
yeah.
Not New 52, not the one where it's like Starfire like tits out on the top of the car. No, not that one.
Wait, what one is that?
Yeah, not the one that I have every issue of. You're a perv.
I'm asking for a friend.
The rebirth run is interesting.
Your dick is small.
Because they basically set up what they call, even in the book, like a dark trinity.
Yeah.
So Red Hood is the stand-in, obviously, for the Batman. Artemis, one of the Bonamigdal Amazons, is the stand-in for Wonder Woman. And Bizarro is a stand-in for Superman. Now, this Bizarro is not from Bizarro World. He's not from Earth 29.
This is the like genetically created version.
One of the failed Superman clones of Lex Luthor, who is, I think in the context of that, it was stolen by Black Mask and then freed by Red Hood and Artemis, and then kind of joins them as part of the team. So he's a little bit different. And I think it's not consistent enough to like really hang my hat on it, but There is a slight difference in like how, going back to the last question, how those Bizarros talk.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bizarro from Bizarro World is where you get the really, like, you really gotta fucking work those sentences because
Yes.
opposites and like double negatives and flips and all that stuff. The genetic clone Bizarro is more like Grundy. He's like, oh, me no have grammar good.
It's more like
You know,
caveman.
It's more caveman than backwards.
Sure.
Yeah. So in that Red Hood series, they free Bizarro, and he has this kind of relationship with Red Hood that's very, he calls him Red Guy.
Yeah.
Which is very cute.
I like that.
It's those genetic clone Bizarros, both that one and the one that precedes him from Forever Evil, both kind of have this like very kind of sad, like loyal golden retriever kind of vibe.
I mean, that's a thing with Bizarro in general, but yeah.
Because that was the whole thing in Forever Evil, like the first New 52 Bizarro.
Yeah.
Lex kind of, he's like, oh, you're supposed to have 5 more years cooking, but I need you now because the crime syndicate's taken over, and he bonds with Lex, and to the point where when that Bizarro dies, Lex is like legitimately hurt by it. It's like, that's when like Lex like activates.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. You know, like he has to tell him a story about how he was once afraid of the dark because Bizarro's afraid of the dark and he won't like
That's
go
so
in
cute.
this tunnel.
Oh
and
my
Lex is
God.
like, it's okay, but he like has to.
That's very sweet.
Yeah, and so there's that kind of energy is in that one from the Red Hood series. You know, it's interesting. You know, and they obviously they care for him a lot. At one point, Lex is even like, "Listen, he's your problem. But I'm not coming after you for him or anything like that." It's interesting. They do a fun turn in that too, where he's dying or something, and then I might be getting this backwards. He either dies or is dying because of it, or he's dying and then the fix does this thing and he becomes like super genius. They make like a super smart Bizarro, like very erudite, like knows everything. Like,
Oh, wow.
it's kind of like a fun move, but yeah, he's just this big. You kind of want to cuddle him, but he's just so fucking dangerous because he's like, he lacks the control or the nuance.
It's like a 4-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah, that version of Bizarro is interesting because he's like a toddler who's never really been parented.
Yeah.
With all the power of Superman.
Yeah. And then, so the emotional strikes are going to be crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool device to force Jason to be a more like emotionally exposed kind of character. It'd be very easy for both him and Artemis to just be like, no, we're stone cold, whatever. 'Cause
Yeah.
they all kind of are like that, but it forces like the sort of like paternal instincts out in Jason, which is kind of interesting.
I like
It's
that.
definitely worth it. Certainly the first 3 volumes of that for sure are worth it.
Yeah.
I really like them.
I feel like they have them at Kohl's or something.
Yeah, they might. I've got them, but
Yeah, I've definitely been interested in getting them.
certainly those 3. It probably gets a little shakier the further in you go, but yeah, I would definitely at least do those.
Ooh, I'm interested.
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from But who asks, if the Bizarro clone from Red Hood were to visit Bizarro's Earth, would he be able to communicate, as he doesn't speak in the opposites? How do you think he would try to fix it? Assuming he's thinking like a genius for this part of the question.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, okay. First of all, if he wasn't the genius version,
Yeah.
you have the interesting dynamic of a sort of toddler kind of caveman
Yeah.
Bizarro, like the genetic clone one who just doesn't have the capacity for clear communication, versus on Bizarro's world, Bizarro speaks normally. He has a full range of communication.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
only weird for us.
Yeah.
So like you'd get both that the things are reversed a bit and that the clone can't communicate as well. So that's like double the obstacles to overcome as when just like Superman comes to
Yeah.
Bizarro World. So that would be difficult for them. If he's the genius, though, I mean, he would definitely find a way. I mean, he could probably just decipher what the differences are. I think there's lots of Superman stories where even Superman has a few key phrases he knows how to say in Bizarro
Yeah.
so that he's like, oh right, I've been through. He has to remind himself, but he's like, yeah, I've been through this. And he goes, you am worst enemy.
Yes,
Bizarro goes
exactly.
like, oh, Superman. Like,
Yeah.
like you can learn it, right? So I think the genius one would just put in a little bit of effort to clocking which things are opposite and which things are just kind of backwards or whatever.
Love it.
Yeah.
So good. All right. Next question comes from Mullet Overlord, who asks, what am most hated tale of great hero Bizarro? So what is your favorite Bizarro story?
I mean, that question, a great example of like how they would actually write a Bizarro line.
Yeah.
Most hated tale, best story.
Best story, yeah.
But you could still say great Bizarro and mean it.
Yes.
Like that's the thing with Bizarro is like it's not consistent.
Yes.
My favorite Bizarro stories. I've talked about it before. We actually read it for a prescribed reading for an episode years ago. There's a story. It's a one and done from the New 52. It's Action Comics number 40. And in that story, Doomsday goes to Earth. Our Doomsday, who at that point had this extra power of like he would release spores that would like doomify anything that they got in contact with or anyone that breathed him in.
Whoa.
He ends up on Earth 29 on Htrae, which is Earth spelled backwards, on Bizarro World. But what's interesting is that instead of like Doomsday landing and like flowers burning and shit like that, it was like Doomsday landed and then like bunnies and rainbows and like pleasant things and birds and butterflies would spring up, and all of the inhabitants of Bizarro World were like horrified because of all like the cute stuff happening.
That's really cute.
It's really, really funny. And you get to see the, what do they call themselves? They're like the Unjustice League of Un-America or something like that. So you get to see Yellow Candle and
there's opposites of all of them.
Bizarro.
Oh, I like that.
The Sramian Snitch, who is the Martian Manhunter, but Mars is SRAM because it's Mars spelled backwards.
Well, of course.
So the Sramian Snitch, the Bizarro Manhawk, you get to see like all those kind of characters fight off this like Doomsday thing, and then the Superman from like the main continuity shows up there and has to help them fight Doomsday.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. It's a cool story because they play with like the opposite thing a bit. They play with like the weirdness of that world. Like I love the design of Bizarro Aquaman because he just has like a upside down fishbowl on his head filled with water.
Look, it's the opposite. He's got, yeah.
It's very cute. Yeah, I really enjoy that one. It's both cute, it plays with the thing a little bit, it's fun to get a multiverse kind of hopping story, and Bizarro gets to be the hero in that one. Like he gets help from New 52 Superman, but Bizarro is the one that saves the day there because he's the hero on Bizarro World.
Yeah, of course.
And that's pretty cool. I enjoyed that one a lot. And also, like, I think the Doomsday thing in New 52, like, I didn't hate it, but like those people could take or leave the spore thing. I think it was a fun way to just be like, there is at least some mileage in this idea that is fun to have, like, to mess with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that one a lot. I mean, you've read, obviously the one that we talk about
at the end
of the episode, but you've probably encountered Bizarro in a couple of other
He's in a
issues or
couple
anything?
he's in a couple issues of the run that I have. So I think I have from like 400-ish to like 8 something.
But what about other things that you have you had any kind of
No,
other
not really. No, he
encounters with
doesn't show up
Bizarro?
in any of the like big crisis stuff. He doesn't really show up in any of the like major trades I have. He doesn't really pop up very often. He comes up in sort of action occasionally, which I like.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten enough of him.
Right.
And spoiler for later, but me, I hate Bizarro.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cold take.
Mm-hmm.
Cold give.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it, but
Yeah. Do you, like, even just conceptually,
mm-hmm.
do you have a thing you prefer? The sort of alternate Earth Bizarro where everything is wacky?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
the clone
No, I
Bizarro
want
is sort of like the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I want Bizarro.
Yeah. The wacky one.
I don't want some fucking like 2-bit dollar store Bizarro. Give me the fucking legit thing.
Right.
I also just love the relationship that Bizarro has with Superman.
I know. Well, I mean, did you ever watch the animated series?
Yeah.
'Cause that it might be one of my favorite Bizarro.
It's a great story.
That episode where they introduced Bizarro, where he just thinks he's Superman, and he slowly kind of like degenerates as it goes.
Yeah,
but he still wants to be the hero.
Yeah.
He still saves Lo. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very melancholic, sad,
it's a great story.
very kind of Frankenstein-y sort of story. It's really good. I put that way up there.
Yeah, because
too,
everyone's just
actually.
like, Superman's destroying the fucking city, and he's like, what? And he shows up and it's Bizarro. Like,
yeah, I love the idea of Bizarro. It's not that, again, it's not the opposite. It's not that he doesn't save the day.
yeah, no.
But it's like how he chooses to do it, right? Like, if there was a big fire, Superman might use the freeze breath, or he might like pop open a hydrant and aim the water. You know, he'd do some shit like that. Like, Bizarro would be like, rivers are water, and he would like dig a trench and like flood the city to get the river over to where the building was. Like,
it's the most complicated way to.
I love that kind of brain process of Bizarro. I think that's a lot of fun, and I think you only really get that with Bizarro World Bizarro, not
exactly
Frankenstein monster Bizarro.
Yeah, totally agree. All right. Next question comes from Yo Crow, it's Scarebro. It's the only way I can say it. Who asks, do the Super Pets have Bizarro versions of themselves?
Oh, I mean, theoretically, they must. Because there is that whole parallel Earth. So it's Earth 29. And it's not just that, I mean, we call them Earth whatever, but it designates a universe. Like, obviously, there's a Mars in that world. It's called SRAM.
SRAM. Yeah.
There's a Ran in that universe. It's Nar. That's where Adam Familiar is.
Yeah.
That's
very funny.
Yeah, like there's Ow is where the dismissers of the universe are. Like, there's all of these, like, the whole universe is out there. So there is no reason to believe that there is not also a Bizarro Crypto, or a Bizarro Bat Hound, or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, I'd also be interested in seeing like, Bizarro, Jor-El, and Lara's plan. It's just like, I build rocket to push exploding planet out of the way.
Yeah,
and then they just put Bizarro Cal in like a pod or something. They push the planet away. It still explodes, and then it knocks him to Htrae.
That would be
or
very
like,
funny.
That'd be funny.
I like that. Or he like fixes the planet, but like puts everybody on a ship and then sends him on a planet to Earth.
He sends all of Krypton.
Yeah.
That'd be funny too. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know that I can think of a story specifically where there's a Bizarro Crypto, although that feels like that must have been done, at least in the Silver Age. There's no way this hasn't been done.
I feel like it's just my dog.
Well, yeah. There's an argument to be made.
Earl.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't done in the Silver Age, it's 100% a thing that, like, I think you can safely assume exists, because there is a Loiz with a Z on, like, everyone that exists exists on Bizarro World in a Bizarro way. So, yeah.
Love it. All right. Well, with that, we're leaving the doc scored and heading on to the doc phone.
Whoa. Bring, bring.
Yep. We get another...
Bring, bring.
We got another 2 messages from Ryan.
Ooh.
One that I'm assuming is the one I play, and the other one I don't, because that seems to be every time Ryan does one, he does one, he makes a mistake, and then sends another one.
Right.
So I'm just going to automatically play the second one, because I guess
It'd be funny if it's just the second half of it, like a cut off.
Oh, that's interesting. I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah. Oh, wait, sorry.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you'll be able to hear it anyways. I'm just going to play it from here.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Because I realized I left my phone downstairs.
Oh, okay.
So, all right. Here we go.
Hey guys, it's Ryan Putney again. I hope I'm getting my question in time for the Bizarro episode. If not, I'm sure you'll put it in the mailbag, or would it be a voicemail bag since it's voicemail? Anyway, so my question for the Bizarro episode is, sorry, my son distracted me. He's playing with a toy. Oh gosh, dang it. Sam, you made me forget the question. Oh wait, no, I think I got it back. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to try again. Delete this message, Richard.
Oh my God. I played the first one instead of the second. It said 2 on here, so I assumed it was the right direction. All right.
Oh, man.
Let me play the first one.
Hey guys, it's Ryan Putney again. I hope I'm getting this message to you in time for the Bizarro episode. So my question for you guys for that is, do you feel like Bizarro, not the failed clone, the one from Bizarro World, would be a better fit for a movie, or like be better for like getting his own TV series? I think that would be very interesting, but I want to know your opinion. Like, do you think he's the kind of character who could work in a Superman film, or do you feel like he is a better character just for TV, cartoon, and do you feel like maybe he should get his own spinoff series? Thanks for enjoying my last few voicemails. I'm having a lot of fun just recording these and getting to talk to you guys. And so, yeah, keep up the great work as always. And my son says hello, and the wife says hello. Keep up the good work. Love you guys. Bye.
We love you too.
Thank you. Love you too. I
Hold on, just
pictured both the son and the wife saying hello under extreme duress.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like from the trunk?
That's my family saying hello from the trunk.
Oh, hold on. My wife's making some noise. Shut the fuck up.
I do think
Sorry. Ryan, we love you very much.
Yeah, next time, Ryan's kid, could you just please just let him ask the goddamn question?
Look, here's the thing. We're trying to write a really professional thing here. And if this kid can't shut the fuck up, I don't know if I can keep answering your fucking questions. I'm sorry.
Oh, boy. Oh, Lordy.
So, Bizarro in movies and TV.
Right.
Does he work in support? Does he get his own thing? Can he work live action?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Movie that famously backed off of what could have been cool ideas, Superman 3.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor's in there as like a computer genius, but guess who that was supposed to be? They were going to do Brainiac in that movie.
Oh,
and then they were like, no. Too weird. Kind of stupid, dismissive thing. But that movie, very famously, has Superman split into 2 parts. Now, that movie has good Superman and bad Superman. You could very easily have made that Brainiac and Bizarro in that movie.
Thank God they didn't, though, because that character would have been a real radio.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Just that you wouldn't trust them to.
No.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, but it could have been like a take on Bizarro or something like that. But yes, I know what you mean. I'm trying to remember the Bizarro from Smallville. I seem to recall it was just that he, kind of like the animated series, maybe thought he was Clark for a bit. And
did they do it on the Smallville? I don't remember that.
They did a Bizarro thing. And he ends up looking all like geometric in that, the way Bizarro does sometimes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They do, I think, use blue kryptonite on him, which is Bizarro's weakness.
Sure. Is that the opposite of green? Like, I don't.
No, again. Just weird.
Okay.
Not different. They're not opposite, just weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think of, how would I want Bizarro to I'll admit I have not watched enough Supergirl to know if they did Bizarro Supergirl at all.
Because
I know they did Red Daughter. They did like that kind of thing, but I don't know if they did.
The version of Bizarro that I like, I don't think works live action.
Which is because you think it can't. It would come off as
yes, 100%.
A really like horrific portrayal of like, right. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I think that
you just have to be. I think you can only do it if you go to Bizarro World.
But even
because then you're like, what a wacky place.
I just think
you're right. Actually, even that makes me uncomfortable.
It's
now.
such a tightrope that I don't think you can do it.
I never think that though in the comics, which is funny. Like I never go like,
no,
what a like unpleasant way to depict.
No,
because
it's frames first of all, which makes things even easier because they're static frames.
I think what I mean though, in terms of setting it on Bizarro World, is you have to what those other versions that we've talked about do well is you have to set up Bizarro's competence and skill in his context.
Yes.
And part of that in our world is that he does save people. He's just making a mess while he does it. Like he does put the fire out, but he diverted the river. Or he does, land the plane safely, but whatever the fuck else happened. I do think you have to navigate. He can't only be just like a random chaos Superman.
No.
And he can't just be silly. You have to set up his earnest intention and a level of like follow through and skill, but you realize that he's a square peg in a round hole. Like that's the shit. Now, I don't know how easy that is to pull off or if it's a good idea, but like if you have that in there, I think you could get away with it, even with the general kind of concern of it.
I think still...
I understand why you'd be cautious, though.
I'm very cautious about it. And because here's the thing, most of the Bizarros are still portrayed as lesser intelligence.
I think maybe part of the issue is because they all stand like they're barely bipedal.
Yes.
It does feel like we're talking about a form of genetic inferiority.
Yes. And that's the problem.
And it's, I get what you're saying.
And in the situation of like the comics, they generally play it as like, hey, your perspective may be that this character is lesser, but his intention is not. And so he's not a bad person. He just has maybe less like intellectual capability. Right. And I think that works.
Do you know what, though? But that's in there, too, because Bizarro never finds a way to un-Bizarro his speak to talk to us.
Because
it's always like, we've found a way to communicate with poor Bizarro.
But Bizarro is coming with an intellectual handicap, I think. That is a factor of Bizarro World.
It's not just the physicality thing.
It's not.
That he can't think as well as we do, or he would meet us halfway,
He would just learn, but he can't.
Fuck.
So that's the problem, and that's the thing that I think prevents it, right?
Damn it!
And I think
I never think of it that. Oh shit!
And that's okay, but it doesn't work live action.
I don't think it's done especially problematically in the comics, but I get it. That is a very difficult thing to translate live action, which is maybe why they tend to go the route where like he acts normal, and you go, but how are there two of you? And then something happens, and it kind of like
And you can't, and I don't think it's right or fair to use somebody who is also on that spectrum, like to portray that character, because I think that's also like tokenism and a bunch of other problems.
Right. I see. Well, but then you're also fully saying,
yes,
Bizarro is
like mentally handicapped in some sort of capacity.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's why I don't think you can do it.
What an interesting little pickle.
Yeah, I think he's a great character, and I think like giving like a stage to somebody with like a mental handicap and things like that is a good thing, but it's such a tightrope that I don't think it's the right move to do live action, because it's always going to come at a cost. At least,
which maybe means that the only live action one that works is the failed clone.
Yes,
not the Bizarro World one, which is a little disappointing, but also, I mean, let's rate it in a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't need to go to Cube Earth.
Well, that's the thing. I think
maybe you can only get away with it because we have other pop culture analogs for that. And, you know, like the kind of hulking, I mean, literally the Hulk, but like also like other characters. We have it kind of coded in our mind that it's like not offensive. It's just, oh, you're big and strong and more kind of brawn than brain. And so this is how you're going to talk.
Exactly.
Yeah. Interesting. It would be kind of wild to see Henry Cavill play
oh my God.
both Superman and a Bizarro.
You know what is like?
That'd be kind of wild. Like, it'd be kind of like fun for him to actually get to do something in a Superman movie.
Do you know who I think could do it? What's his name? Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Dave Bautista?
I think he's probably the closest you could get to it because like Drax is heading in that direction, but he's got a bit more sort of like intellectual fortitude.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. Like you're toying with the things that are funny about Bizarro when he doesn't understand metaphors. Or
yes,
shit like that.
Exactly. Like there is a version that
there's an Amelia Bedelia thing that works for Bizarro.
Yeah, if you just play it as like a not understanding and less of like an intellectual play, like I think that works.
Yeah. Odd. Interesting.
Good question.
Yeah, really good question.
Jeez. All right, let's leave the doc phone.
Now that we finally got to it.
Stupid fucking shut up.
Man, kids, am I right?
Yeah, good thing I'm not worried about that.
All right.
Let's go to Reddit.
Where everyone's nice and no one's ever mean.
That's correct. First question comes from Cassandra Kane Batgirl. Great Batgirl. Who asks, okay, if y'all had to draft up 2 teams consisting of 3 different Bizarros, who would come up with a better team? Hashtag Team Richard. P.S. Wow. All right. P.S. My friend showed me the Resident Fight Night audio thing on Patreon. LMAO. I'm sorry for my name, Mr. Fart. Jesus, I have no idea what that's about.
So long ago.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, that's disappointing that you've just gone Team Richard right out the gate, obviously.
I think it makes sense. It adds up.
We've established that Richard is both mean and fuckably hot. We established that on the Doc Squad.
A demon fuckingly hot.
Yeah. Straight to ego there.
Look, all I'm gonna say is there are no bad questions, just bad people.
You know what? I think you fixed it.
Yeah,
You did it.
The choice.
The Bizarro episode. Right. So we're making our Pokemon battle of the Bizarros that we want to choose.
Sure. Are there
Which
that
is funny
many
because
Bizarros?
well, technically. Oh, I see what you're saying. I just was thinking like from the Bizarro world.
Oh,
because
interesting.
it's not just like it wouldn't just be like the same team you would have of the regular heroes because again, it's not a perfect analog. Like I would not be picking Aquaman at all on a Bizarro team because Bizarro Aquaman, as far as I can tell, fully useless.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, then let's say that it's the Bizarro versions of characters. Then sure, because
we could mix and match though too. Like we could do whatever we like. I would take. I think I would take Bizarro.
Bizarro?
I want Bizarro.
Which one's that?
It's Batman on Bizarro World.
Oh, okay. I was like, the Zorro was messing me up. I was thinking it was like Zorro.
Oh yeah, no. Bizarro. Yeah, the bat's upside down on his costume.
Really?
There's no eye holes in his mask.
That doesn't help. I guess bats are blind technically.
Yeah, I think I would take Bizarro because he's one of the, like on Bizarro World. I think he's also quite like intelligent.
Yeah,
but I think that'd be fun to have like your mastermind game master sort of character, but a Bizarro one.
I do like that.
Okay.
I like the Flash's Bizarro.
Sure. Yeah.
Which one's that called? The
He might just be called Bizarro Flash. I can't remember if he has a specific name or not. He might just be called Bizarro Flash.
all right, Bizarro Flash.
I don't know that we've seen him a ton, but I think you could make up a. Oh, right. Oh, do you know what? There's a Bizarro Flash from before Flashpoint that was like
a cloned Flash.
that was like overweight, like he's a big guy.
That's really funny. Because Bizarro, I'm reading here that Bizarro Flash was created when Bizarro cloned Flash. He had a costume, the reverse colors of Flashes.
Well, this is the thing. So the original back in like pre-Crisis, that Bizarro made a Bizarro world and cloned himself and Lois a bunch and like populated the whole world with versions of himself. I'm not 100% sure what the status. I think the status of Bizarro world of Htrae is different now. Like that it is just a Bizarro universe that sort of organically happened. But
okay.
The original one was like Bizarro making duplicates of himself to populate this world.
Oh,
yeah.
Here it says that the modern version of Bizarro Flash has the symbol of a thunderbolt-shaped mustard stain.
Yes.
He has the powers of the Flash, but he is completely intangible.
Yes.
That's very funny.
Okay. Yeah. So you have him in there. He's basically just wind.
Yeah. I like that.
I guess I'll go for the Sramian Snitch. So that's the version of Martian Manhunter. Interesting thing about the Sramian Snitch is that he comes from an overpopulated planet.
That's very funny.
There's too many Sramians, which is very funny.
Yep.
I'm just trying to pull up if he has any sort of special versions of abilities that are good to talk about here. Let's see. Bizarro physiology. Blah, blah, blah. No, nothing crazy. Not like that Flash one. Basically, he could do what Martian Manhunter could do. But also the idea of like Bizarro telepathy. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
That feels like it would like drive you insane if you weren't a Bizarro. Yeah.
Oh man. I don't like this character, but I do want to talk about them.
Okay.
Pizarra.
Oh, sure.
So Pizarra is the Wonder Woman. She's a very simple-minded being. This is really lazy character development, even for a Bizarro character. Has a reverse character trait. She believes women are inferior to men.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
don't love that.
Yeah, it's not great.
That's just saying that Wonder Woman feels like she's more superior to men. Like that's not. I don't think that's not like one of her character traits.
But again, not opposite, just weird and worse.
Yeah, I don't love that. How about Bizarro Green Lantern?
Yeah, so that's Yellow Candle.
It's a Yellow Lantern.
Maybe, or sometimes called Yellow Candle, I think. But yes, there's a basically like a version of Green Lantern, but obviously yellow, which is very funny.
So was this before the Yellow Lantern actually came up, or is this?
No, I think this is later. Like once all of those things, like the populating out the world of like the Bizarros, I think happened sort of later than that.
Yeah,
generally,
Bizarro version of Hal called Yellow Lantern is featured on In Action Comics 856. Ooh, I might have that.
You probably do, actually.
Hold on, now I want to know. Just because it's open right there.
Okay, hang on. Bizarro Yellow Lantern. This is like an older looking comic, actually. So it has been around for a while. Just goes to show, eh? Again, I think though that version, like the older one, that was again like Bizarro duplicating himself, right? Because he had some machine or like a ray or something that would do it.
I do have it.
You do have it? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, let's have a look. So this is pre-Flashpoint.
Okay, let's see what I got here. Oh yeah, this is fucking rad looking store. Oh yeah, this is a whole run right now. It's from 855 to like 8.
Oh, nice.
857.
And look how easily you found it in your like organized collection.
I did.
Amazing.
It's funny. I bought this while I was down south. That's how I did it. Jeez. Oh my god, the art on this is fucking rad.
It looks dope. It looks great.
That's really good. Yeah, because they actually go to Bizarro World.
Yeah. At any rate, yes, there is a Bizarro Yellow Lantern.
Now I want to see, where does this character show up? That's really funny.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah. God, so funny.
The Death of Bizarro. Oh, so I do have it. Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, you could have him. He works for the Dismissers of the Universe. They're on OW
Ow.
instead of OA.
That's really funny.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, look at the mustard stain. That's very funny.
Yeah, see, and that's like the sort of fat Flash. That's different from the one who.
Yeah, this is like, and this Batman has like just a smiley face on.
Yeah. There's like a post Flashpoint version of them that's more from like the multiversity and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll take Bizarro Manhawk.
Yeah.
I'd take him. Get another alien in there.
Well, then I want
version of
Hawk Girl.
Man. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because she looks terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, God, Bizarros, man. So fun.
I really enjoy them.
Do you know what? We haven't talked about this. There's a few episodes of Teen Titans Go that have Bizarro Titans.
Of course.
Of
course.
Robin like takes the Titans elevator like all the way down through the earth and it like comes out the other side in Bizarro World.
Yeah.
And so Bizarro Robin is called Nybor. And at one point, the Bizarro Titans kick him out because he's best leader. And they switch, and like the Bizarro Titans like really like Robin. He's like, finally, a team that respects me.
Oh my god!
And then he pushes them too hard, and they don't like him anymore. And it's really really funny. It's a good. Yeah, I really like the Teen Titans Go one. That makes me laugh. I feel like that one might have like Cyborg is like mostly human and a little bit rope. Like,
oh, that's very funny.
It's like that kind of shit.
I like that.
Beast Boy might be like something different, but he might be like a dog that could turn into different people or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's what he could do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Next is a cup of Marvel comics.
Oh, just a cup. Knock, knock, knock.
2 Marvel comics, 1 cup.
I'm so sorry to bother you. I'm here to borrow a cup of Marvel comics.
Who asks, is there a copy of other Super Family members? Oh, Super Family. Who's Super Family members? Anyways, also as a new like all the super
like the
people.
Super Family.
Yeah. Okay, I was thinking that as like a different character. Never mind.
Idiot.
Oh, back to the comic board.
Oh my god, I've been waiting so long to hear you say those words.
Also, as a new DC reader and listener, is there a good starting off point for reading him? I saw them on DC Superhero Girls and wanted to learn/read more about him. Thanks for such a wonderful podcast for learning about DC. As a Marvel fan, it helps digesting it. Thanks, comedian Colin, God Doctor, and producer Richard.
Oh my god, do you want to tell them or should I?
Oh no.
Something will happen.
But also, you're asking questions, but you still...
Yeah, they just see the prompt.
Yeah.
And ask the question.
And
Like,
then
I'll get to that episode eventually.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
The God Doctor?
Thank you.
I assume it's a Godfather.
Still, I'll take it. Yeah.
Come to me the day of my comics wedding.
I was going to say the day of my daughter's recording.
See, we got there.
So, yes, I mean, applying the same principle we've talked about before, where it's either the sort of Silver Age Bizarro using the duplicator thing, or it's the more modern, like that, it's just a parallel universe that has evolved in, concert with our own.
Which do you prefer?
I prefer like the more modern one.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea of all of them having more separate personalities
Yeah.
and things like that. And even just like the idea of that whole universe having weird physics.
Yeah.
The thing that we like about Earth 26, about the cartoon universe, I like the idea of like a different physics where you can have a cubic world. And it's not just that Bizarro made it. It's that like it naturally happened that way because nature is weird. There.
Yes.
I like that shit.
Because then it
I
doesn't.
think that's more fun.
It doesn't make him look lesser. It makes him look like, no, but there he's normal. Like, and I think like I prefer that.
I prefer it too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's entirely possible that I have read that new stuff wrong, and that like, because that new like post Flashpoint thing, it's barely shown up, that Bizarro world. It's possible that the intention of that is still maybe that they're all duplicates.
Oh,
But I think that's sad, and I don't like that as much. I want it to be like
that's just the versions of them there.
yeah, I just want that, I think.
Yeah.
So yes, by that logic, there must be a Bizarro Supergirl there. There must be a Bizarro Superboy. The idea though of the idea of like a Bizarro version of a clone Superboy is also like odd.
Oh, that is weird.
And then theoretically, maybe in the way that Metallo is like totally sane on that Earth, what happened? Like, what if there was a clone
Joker?
a failed clone of Bizarro that Bizarro Lex made?
Oh,
What does that come out as?
yeah.
So the clone Bizarro, what does that look like, a Bizarro world?
What does Bizarro Joker though? Is he just like a businessman?
He's
like,
just not funny.
yeah,
He's just dead serious.
he's just a serial killer. Like,
Yeah. Or he's just legitimately a clown.
oh, that's funny.
No killing. No
but,
crime.
but a bad clown. Like, no good jokes.
He's not funny, but he's only a clown.
yes,
Yeah.
a very serious clown.
A serious clown for a serious Earth. Why so serious?
All right.
Children, do you want to know how I got these scars?
Oh my god. Do you want to know how I got this?
Swear to me.
What's the? Oh god. Yeah. There's a TikTok account that everybody needs to follow. The one I just got to. The characters welcome.
Yeah.
Follow characters welcome. They just they did a very funny. What if the Joker accidentally shot Batman?
Oh, really?
Did I not send that to you?
Oh,
It's the 3 parts where the woman's just crying.
Oh,
the whole
yes.
thing.
No,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
you did.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
yes.
literally just like trying to do the whole monologue thing, then shoots, kills Batman. He's like, no, Batman, no. Do you want to know how I got these scars? I went to Chili's and I fell.
I have seen that.
It's
yeah.
very funny.
Yeah.
I really like it. All right, let's leave Reddit and head on over to Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram, take some questions and answer them.
First question comes from. Fuck yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's fucking Jack Stonewall.
Jack Stonewall.
Oh my God. Why did you just stop in your tracks? You might just have gotten Jack Stonewall.
Yeah, this question is dedicated to the brave Mujahideen fighters of Afghanistan. I'm Jack Stonewall. I haven't updated my political views since Rocky 3 came out.
It's Jack Stonewall. Who asks lots of questions. But is Bizarro World Earth 29, or is it the in the antimatter universe? Or does the planet use the antimatter universe to move to other Earths?
So, Bizarro World, currently, the
Yes.
way it stands, Earth 29.
Okay.
Parallel universe. It was, for a while, just a random planet out in space that Bizarro made. That's like Silver Age, pre-crisis.
Okay.
Just kind of hanging out. The antimatter universe, see, I get where we're going with this. There was a period of time where theoretically there was no parallel Earths. Between Crisis on Infinite Earths
Yes.
and Infinite Crisis,
Yeah.
there is only the new Earth continuity.
Yeah.
And then they get a little around that by introducing that there's New Earth and there's the antimatter Earth.
Yeah.
And that's how we get a version of the crime syndicate and shit like that. For a bit, they were from the antimatter Earth.
Sure, yeah.
But because that's meant to be more like a Earth 3 kind of thing, I don't think that's where Bizarro was from. Unless I'm missing a very specific story where they're like, it's the Antimatter universe. My memory of it is that it's either just a random planet out in our universe, or that it's a totally separate universe. I could see them trying to use the antimatter universe for story things to like, when like, fuck, we don't have a multiverse anymore. What are we going to like?
Yeah.
I could see them trying to jury rig something that way, but it's certainly not anything that comes to mind strongly, because that antimatter universe, they were using it for like Earth 3. It was more like that, which kind of worked in its own way, you know, have the yellow light there and Quard. You could still kind of play like the stuff from Green Lantern and stuff like that in there and still use the antimatter universe. Yeah. I don't think Bizarro has an antimatter universe connection. Preparing to be lit up about that one, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't.
All right, let's go to the next question from Robbie's Just This Guy, who asks, just learned about Match. What's their deal?
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Also, how cool is Superman with all these clones of his running around?
Yeah, well, so Match is interesting. Match is basically Bizarro Con-El.
Oh.
So Con-El, the Superboy who is a clone.
Yes, that's what we just talked about.
Of Superman and Lex Luthor. There are failed versions of him. Called Match. And they're essentially, it's his Bizarro. But again, it's riffing on the failed clone thing as opposed to Bizarro World.
Sure, yeah.
It's that something goes wrong genetically, is like genes are corrupted kind of shit. Match is actually like very recently, like within the last little bit, was revealed in the current Suicide Squad comic. I thought Superboy was on the Suicide Squad until he meets Superboy again. You're like, wait, who are... And you find out that it was Waller had Match. She had a clone of Superboy.
Whoa.
Because Waller is like way off the deep end right now.
Waller? Amanda?
Oh, man. She tried to take over Earth 3. She tried
Whoa.
to like, Waller is like way in the deep end.
Crazy.
And part of that is, using Match to have like a version of Superboy on the team, which is pretty fucked up and crazy. Right now she's using this, it's like a drug or something to keep Match stable so that he can talk like Superboy and things like that. So he's not just doing the meams and disintegrating that way mentally. But yeah, that's essentially who Match is.
Wow.
How cool is Superman with clones of his running around? Very cool with Con-El. Fully part of the family. You know, they gave him the name Connor Kent. Said you could be Con-El.
Oh, wow.
You know, like, you didn't inherit that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's part of the family. Connor is... There's no weirdness there with that shit. I mean, initially, Superman's like, I don't love that. But Connor's earned it.
Yeah.
You know, he's earned the trust and all of that stuff. I think even with, like... the Bizarro that was out there, I think he kind of like, he knows there's Bizarro out there. I think it's more, he's got it. It's the Star Trek thing of like, these are living beings. They're not just science experiments I could end.
Yeah.
So it's like, they exist. I might not be okay with it, but I do have to learn how to deal with it. And I think it's more just stopping more from being made to be used for nefarious purposes or things like that. But you know, Superman's like, no, I mean, like they're alive. They're their own things. So whether I like or approve of them or not, they have lives, and I owe it to them to do the best I can to make sure they're living it properly, especially because they have my powers, sort of thing. You know,
fair. All right, with that, let's leave Instagram and head on over to Twitter.
That's Twitter.
First question comes from Rick to the E, who asks, no particular question, but can you talk about a Bizarro?
Oh, fuck yeah.
The imperfect clone of LexCorp, of a LexCorp employee.
There's a mini series called A Bizarro.
Weird.
It's 4 or 6 issues, and it's about this guy named like Albert. His name is not Bizarre. His last name's not Bizarro, but it's close. It's like Bizarro, or like he has some sort of fucking comic book name like that.
Sure.
But his name is Albert. And basically, like, he is in the early the premise is that in the early days of Lex trying to make Superman clones, they had to test the cloning technology on people. Like just the general cloning technology.
Sure, yeah.
And that this guy is one of them, and I think he just gets like forgotten in like stasis or something, and then all this time passes, Bizarro is out in the world, like the experiment kept going, and then he wakes up and he's like a Bizarro him kind of thing. Something like about the cloning experiment.
That's fun.
So the world has already seen Bizarro. There's arguably better versions of the clone kind of thing out there, but he's just like a human Bizarro.
So he's just a bizarre version of a dude.
Yeah.
So theoretically, just a person with like a mental handicap. Yep. Okay.
I will say, I have read this, but not in a very long time.
Okay.
Do not want to weigh in on whether or not it's aged well.
Yeah.
But it exists. Yeah, it's like 4 or 6 issues. It's called A Bizarro. And yeah, it's about this guy. His name is like Al Bizarro or whatever the fucking name is.
Weird.
And he's just like a random Bizarro from Lex just testing out the machine, basically.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from Alexander the Alex, who asks, is DC guilty of making Bizarro and Solomon Grundy more Hulk-like in the way they talk and act since the MCU? I don't know if there's a direct connection to that.
I don't know if you can connect it to the MCU, but I do think it's the thing we're talking about where it's which Bizarro. Those clone ones absolutely talk more like Hulk or Grundy or whatever. I gotta say, I mean, this is it's connected to the question, slightly off topic. I have a pet peeve about Grundy, which is that I don't like him talking outside of the poem.
Yeah.
I think the most interesting way to make Grundy talk is not even that he has to say it in order, but he can only use the words in the poem.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that's the only bit of him that's like left that he can communicate, you know? And I have a problem with, I really didn't like Smart Grundy, which happened for a bit in is that the McGinnis era or whatever?
Weird.
I didn't like that. I don't even like the me Grundy sleepy, blah, blah. Like no. I want him to say I want him to get hit really hard and then go took ill on Friday or took ill on Saturday. Use the poem, only the poem. That's your Grundy. That's kind of my weird Grundy hill I want to die on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the clone Bizarros do tend to speak a bit Hulkish, but I think Hulk in the comics just fully talks. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Correct me, Marvel folk. But the MCU one, he basically didn't talk or just went, beauty god, or whatever. Bizarro always talked more than that, but not as much as Smart Hulk or it was more like Hulk from Ragnarok, I guess.
I think
that era of MCU Hulk is the closest I think you get to how Bizarro is, but think of how late that is versus interpretations of Bizarro. So no, I don't think they got it from the MCU. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Next question comes from Truth, Justice, and Hope, who ask, my favorite version of Bizarro is the well-meaning but dangerously confused imperfect Superman clone. Mm-hmm. Has that version returned since he died in the build-up to the Battle of Metropolis?
Yes. So Battle of Metropolis is Infinite Crisis.
Okay.
That's 2006.
Wow.
There have been many versions of Bizarro to return since then, including the clone one. So I talked about it before. So Forever Evil, it was kind of like the first big line-wide event of the New 52. The crime syndicate invades from Earth 3 and the Justice League are missing. And basically Lex puts together an Injustice League to fight them and the villains that have sided with them to save the world.
Yeah.
And part of that is he goes fuck, damn it, I got to take you out early. And he defrosts basically a uncooked Superman clone.
I like that.
It's like salmonella with a shirt on. There's like a funny bit where he hands him a Superman uniform and he puts it on backward, like upside, like inside out. And he's like, fine, whatever.
That's funny. I like that.
You know, but he's a very kind of like tender, sweet, like you could tell. It's interesting because you could tell like the cloning was working.
Yeah.
Because he's very sweet and he like hands Lex a flower and stuff like that. Or someone like Deathstroke or someone points a gun at Lex and he like again, like a dog.
Yeah.
You know, like he's like, no, this is my guy. You don't come the fuck near him.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's really sad when he dies. He gets killed by Mazas, who is the Earth 3 Shazam. It's
Wow.
Alexander Luthor Jr. from Earth 3.
Oh.
With the powers of Shazam.
Weird.
And part of the thing that he can do is instead of sharing power the way Shazam does, he can take power. So when he kills you, he can take your power.
Oh.
And he fucking punches a hole in Bizarro's chest. Like a full dent. Like you just see it. It's fucked up. And Lex kills him hard for it.
I bet.
And that's a very kind of sad one. And he's super undercooked. He's less cooked than the Bizarro, the clone Bizarro that's in Red Hood and the Outlaws. That one is like very much looks more like a person. Like the one from Forever Evil has just like only black eyes, like they haven't fully formed.
Oh,
and,
wow.
like barely any hair and like white skin. You see all the veins and stuff. But yeah, so I mean, there are two very prominent clone ones since the, Flashpoint, and it's the Bizarro from Forever Evil, and then who is subject like B0 or something. And then the Bizarro that's on the Outlaws. Yeah,
Nice. Next question comes from Braydon.
Ooh.
Yes, the donkey rises. Who asks, if everyone in Bizarro World does everything in reverse, how do they mate? Are we talking seahorses or some Benjamin Button level science?
yeah. So it's not all in reverse. So I think we can count out Benjamin Button.
Yeah.
No one on Bizarro World is born old and
No,
DHs. That's just not how it works. I imagine they mate the way we do, just more clumsily.
Yeah.
You know, like I think there's a lot more collateral damage.
Just run at each other like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They only do it from behind.
But they're both facing
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Just smacking asses together.
Yeah, this doesn't work at all.
It's a miracle that they survived.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Bizarro way would be that they know how to do it, but they're bad at it. Or maybe it's a thing where it's like on Bizarro Earth, like women come quick and men take forever. So it's really hard for them to get pregnant because you gotta really get the man there. He's gotta be in the right mood and everything.
That's very funny.
Like that would be the Bizarro thing.
They use 3 seashells.
On Bizarro World, if you don't want to get pregnant, a woman unwraps a condom and puts it up her vagina.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Like that's the Bizarro thing.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like it's just doing it weirder and worse.
Yes.
That's
Yes. Absolutely.
yeah.
Next question comes from Mosaic Comics, who asks, the Bizarro Green Lantern known as the Yellow Candle, there you go, joined the Sinestro Corps and can be seen fighting in the Sinestro Corps War. Should Bizarro and his world be treated as a larger part of the DCU, or does the concept work better as something that occasionally comes up in Superman?
Interesting. I mean, the cop-out answer is, it's a little bit of both. I think generally, I don't know that I love the idea of really bringing in the Bizarro stuff if Superman's not part of the story.
Agreed.
But something kind of big in scope, you know, like your Sinestro Corps War, something like that. That's a fun thing to reference. Or to have, if it's a Justice League story or something where Superman can also be, or Superman's making a guest appearance in, you know, Hawkman. And guess what? They got a visit from Bizarro Manhawk. Like that, I think is fun shit. But I do feel like you need Superman there. Because I think that's just where those characters live, and I think you can't get away from that.
Sure, yeah.
Because it gets away from the heart of it, which is Bizarro himself. And even if he doesn't show up, I think you got to keep it kind of tied a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also the piece of, I know there's lots of superheroes and they all have good traits and they can all be compassionate and stuff like that. But I think you kind of need a Superman to navigate a Bizarro. Even if it's not the Bizarro, I think you need just like...
Well, because he has Superman's powers, so you need Superman to sort of like help
that one
deal
does.
with it.
But even if you're picking a different Bizarro someone, I think you need like our Superman's like patience and care and the time that he spent with them. He speak their language. He knows how to help, how to make sure that they don't freak out. You know, like... I think you need Superman.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as with all corners of DC, I want all of them to get a little more sunlight. But I think for Bizarro, the key is you have to have Superman in there somewhere. If it's not a Superman story, he's got to be in there. You got to at least put a call into Superman and say, is this one of yours? Like, like I think you always have to tie it back. That's my feeling about Bizarros.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Sinestro Corps war thing is like fun and interesting because it's also showing like the size of what his core has grown to, and it's implying that it's like extra dimensional and all that kind of stuff too, because you're also invoking Quard and all that kind of shit with them. Yeah, I think that's your
take
on it. Yeah.
All right, next question comes from Lesbian of Many Names.
Oh.
I haven't heard that lesbian name in many.
Mithrandir.
Yeah. Who asks, what's the deal with Bizarro? Tangentially, has Bizarro ever eaten at Sbarro? I mean, I was about to make that joke, and then they made it first in the question.
Do you know what? I've never eaten at Sbarro.
Really?
What is it?
It's like an Italian sort of ish place.
Okay. Do we have them in Canada?
Yeah. There was one in the mall in Windsor.
In real Canada.
All right. It's like pizza and like salads and like a little bit of pasta, but it's like fast food Italian food.
Like you said, Mario's, but if it leaned more on pizza than pasta?
Yes, and more fast food. Like more of like a kiosk in a mall type fast food.
Oh, okay. Mrs. Vanelli's kind of stuff?
Yes.
Gotcha. I got there.
There you go.
Okay. So Bizarro
Yes.
is like a Bizarro. So
Wait, hold on.
in All-Star Superman,
Yeah.
I think they go to Bizarro World.
Yeah.
And on that world, there is a Bizarro. So he's fully sane, and his name is Bizarro. And he kind of tells like Superman,
So
like,
is he just a
he's like-
Superman?
he's just like, I can't live here. I can't
Weird.
handle it. You got to take me back with you. And he eventually doesn't. Like he's
Really?
like, he's like, no, like this is my, like, I'll stay, blah, blah, blah. But he's like, oh, I can't live like this.
Weird. That's crazy.
So he wears like a red suit with a blue cape, and he's got like a yellow shield with stuff.
Weird.
So yeah, it's like translating something from English to French and then back into English again. It's kind of like what is happening with Bizarro.
Weird.
So he's not exactly Superman, but he's like
opposite of
he's a
Bizarro.
Superman version of sanity, born in and from Bizarro world.
That's so weird.
Yeah, that's who Bizarro is, and that's an All-Star Superman thing. That's Morrison.
Is it? Oh, it'll be in that story then.
It
eh?
is, yeah.
Ooh, I gotta read that book. Got too much stuff.
Has Bizarro ever eaten at Sbarro?
No, I doubt it.
Or he has, but on Bizarro World, it's all pasta, no pizza.
Yeah, it's called Orabs.
Careful.
Oh yeah, this goddamn Orabs.
Oh no.
Goddamn pasta people.
Oh no.
All right. Next question comes from our favorite religious representative,
Ooh, Chris Chan.
Christopher Chans,
The human target himself.
who asks, "Can you explain the correct grammar of Bizarro's speech? It's not always clear why certain parts of his sentences are backwards and others are not. Also, say the most Bizarro line you can think of.
Sure. We have talked a lot about this.
Yeah.
The obvious one is like you fuck up how you conjugate your verbs.
Yes. The intent is opposite.
Well, or not. Well, I mean, that bit isn't necessarily opposite. You are saying like am, like I am, but you're.
But that's what I mean. That's why the intent is not changed there. Like,
Yeah.
because you can still refer to yourself, but the thing that you're trying to say is the thing that switches.
Yeah, you're either fucking up what the pronoun is, so
Yeah.
you're using like personal pronoun instead of the subject pronoun, so you're saying me instead of I.
Yeah.
Or you fuck up the conjugation where you'd say like I are
Yes.
instead of I am.
Baboon.
Oh my god.
I am Weasel.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. You should throw like you can oppositify really big concepts. Love and hate, peace and war, happy and sad, good and bad. You can oppositify those things. And then for other things that are maybe slightly more nuanced, like what is the opposite of want? You could just throw a not in there. And you could do both.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about double negating.
Sure.
You may or may not. So me tell you question not good. Which I think means I answered that poorly.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like,
Yeah. Me am best podcast host.
outstanding art series. There, we did it.
Yeah. or wait, no, hold on. Unnoticeable art series.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there we go.
I think those are kind of like the big tenets, though, of Bizarro speech. You have a few different tools you can use, and then it's like having like one of those like word combo locks where it's like, I have this piece I could do, this piece I could do, this piece, and then you just kind of like randomize, and then you're just like, great, that's a Bizarro sentence.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so it doesn't have to be consistent sentence to sentence. We just know the types of things you're fucking up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
Yeah.
The very last question for this week from Geek Top 5, who asks, should he be a joke or a serious villain?
I think it's a mistake to make him a villain at all.
Agreed. Because he doesn't want to
Other than just that he is like a nuisance / kind of a menace.
Yeah.
But not that his intent, as we keep saying, is bad.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe like my least favorite part of that Bizarro that you see in Infinite Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
The Bizarro that like fully kills the freedom fighters.
Yeah.
You know, like he punches the human bomb, and the human bomb's power is that if you touch him, it makes an explosion.
Yeah. Been there.
And he keeps punching him and going like, me no like pretty lights. And he goes, no more pretty lights. And he's punched the human bomb so much that he is dead.
Oh my God.
And it's like, I think Bizarro is capable of mayhem and destruction, and certainly the wrong people guiding him could convince him that he's doing the right thing. But my problem with that Bizarro is that he's not being convinced he's doing the right thing. He's just doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And I think that doesn't work for me.
No.
I don't need him to be like this like sad puppy that just needs like love and guidance, but I don't like him bad.
Me either.
That doesn't work for me.
No, I agree.
Either version. The clone one, the bad thing only works for a little bit, and then you go like, we found it. We took out the programming. Like, you just do that, and you're like, great, we're done with that shit now.
Yeah. I also don't like him as a joke. I think neither of these are directions I want.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there are jokey elements.
Yeah.
In the way that there are, like, antagonist elements.
Yeah.
But he's not a villain. And no, he's not a joke. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the most part, Bizarro stories of the last, 10, 15 or so years they all treat him pretty well, relatively, I would say, and kind of give him like a level of respect and be like, he's just trying to do his thing. Like, you know, like.
I think the opportunity's always been really missed with Bizarro,
Right.
which is it's a chance to show like an alternate perspective in a way that would make sense. And typically it's just he doesn't understand, we're going to show him the right way, which
Right.
I don't like is fine once in a while, but I think there's an opportunity to go like, this is a different way of thinking and maybe it can also be right.
Yeah, it would be great to see Bizarro be the hero his way, not only on his world.
Exactly.
Yeah, that Earth 29 Bizarro comes to Earth and his sort of, you're right, his atypical way of dealing with things actually ends up being the thing that saves the day. If they had done it Superman's way, it wouldn't have worked.
Exactly.
I do think, I agree. I like that.
I think that this is the tide change that Bizarro needs at this point. It's like, this is an opportunity, not a thing for comedy. And I think that like you can have comedy in there, but I think there's...
I mean, there is undeniable comedy in there, but it's, you're right. It's not, we're not just having a laugh.
It just seems it can be a cheap shot. And I don't think that's fair because I think that like it can be a much more interesting story to be able to go like to like change the way that your perspective is. Yeah.
Because here's the thing we have not talked about.
Yeah.
Superman always has this thing where he's like, I could do that, but I shouldn't.
Yeah.
There's all these reasons. Bizarro, as soon as he thinks a thing is going to help, he just does it.
Yeah.
There's an argument to be made that whether or not the collateral damage is higher, Bizarro is more of a man of action than Superman is. Maybe if there's just people in a desert drought, Superman would bring them like aid. He'd like descend with like crates and stuff, be like, let's set up camp, and Bizarro would like literally like carve a path to the ocean, and be like, water, and they'd be like, this is salt water, and he'd be like, but like you'd be like, well, I guess now that it's here, we just put in like desalinators, like you know what I mean, like you just like maybe that fucks up the global climate and like geography and geology and everything, but there's a part of this almost like he's doing something.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Can't fault him for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is the last question for this week, which means it's time to get into our reading assignment.
Yeah. This is a story that you have brought up in the last few weeks on the show. And it's Action Comics, Volume 1, number 785.
That's right.
This is a Bizarro story where we get the scenes in reverse, Memento style.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I read this book a few months ago for the first time and was absolutely perplexed by this book.
Sure, yeah. Did you clock at first that it was in reverse?
No.
I read all the way like scene 13.
It's so small in the corner, and I just never really clocked it. And so I read the entire thing and then and I did a bit of research for this issue, like for today's episode, and it seems like that's pretty par for the course. Like a lot of people do that, and a lot of people actually recommend doing that. Like they're like, it works still. Like you get it.
Oh, I fully did not read it backwards.
Yeah, I read it today backwards because I wanted to try it.
Right.
And it just, it works like a good story.
Sure.
Like it absolutely does. And it's fun because I'd been reading that series, so I understand the context of the moments and sort of there's a lot of like nuance and stuff that was going on with the way Superman's feeling, which I really like. But outside of it, it does work.
Well, why don't we talk about it a little bit? You can maybe you can just walk through it because there's a lot of interesting pieces in here. There's some stuff about Bizarro and Clark. There's also like Clark's in action dealing with Zod because he's worried that Zod will be like, wait a minute, Clark Kent, under those glasses, you're Superman. I don't
exactly
because at this point Zod has taken over. What's the country called? Pokolistan or something like that.
Yeah.
This is after Imperiex and shit like that have happened.
Yeah, I mean, so the book starts in two ways.
Right.
The book starts with Bizarro in essentially hell.
Yeah, I guess it kind of looks like that.
Well, and they say hell at one point. Like he even says like Mia like was in hell. Like, and I was like, or I think he says heaven, but it's hell. But I don't know who this like giant monster is. The like hellish devil-y thing that's there.
Yeah, I guess I couldn't tell whether or not that was literal. And it's been a while since I've read like the surrounding stories, so I can't remember like what is happening at this time.
But basically you get him there and he's talking about how like poorly he's been treated and that but the beginning starts as like, I'm going to like save people. That's sort of the first thing he says. He's like I'm gonna do just like Superman would want me to.
Hell, isn't that just him fighting the thing that's off in the woods? Like there's that explosion and that.
Hard to say. Yeah, I honestly
I don't
don't
think he's actually in hell. I think he's just fighting a thing, and there's a lot of devastation. But.
So he sort of starts in this huge battle.
Yeah.
Or it starts with
Well, yeah. If you go from the back,
or it starts with Superman is basically dealing with the fact that he and Lois are on the rocks right now, and Lois is
they're like unofficially separated.
Yeah, Lois is on a trip with her mom in Europe, and like Clark has like went to Japan, and like there's this whole situation right now where it's like they're both just sort of like living separate lives, and both of them, I think, like I don't know what the catalyst for it was. I have to go back and read to catch up to see where that was. But
it's interesting too because it starts with him being like, things are fine. Just because we're not living together doesn't mean we're separated. And Perry goes like,
yeah,
and then immediately Clark is like, wait, are we? Is that what's that? I just thought you wanted some space. Oh my god!
And then Perry's like, "You can just jump off the fucking building if you want." Like, which I was like, "Whoa!"
Well, yeah. Okay, Perry makes a joke where there's a window in the broom closet, which is a reference to the Superman TV show from the 50s.
That's where he changes
because he would change in the closet and then jump out a window, and people would be like, "Why is there a window in the?"
Yes.
So it's a reference to that, but yeah, Perry is basically being like, I mean, if you're sad, you can kill yourself.
Yeah. You can always,
Weirdly, not the only kill yourself thing happening in this issue.
No.
So there's also that woman that jumps off the Daily Planet.
We'll get there. Yeah. So basically, Perry's like, look, why don't you distract yourself? I got an assignment for you. Why don't you go do this job?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right. So next we have we see Bizarro hugging Superman, being like, you saved me. You made everything better, and Superman's just like, look, like you don't got to apologize. Like, it's fine. Like it's totally fine. Like you can just like just keep being you.
yeah.
And we find out that that's because Zod was just beating the shit out of Bizarro.
Yeah.
And treating him like shit.
Because Zod has taken over this country again, whose name I can never really... Pakolistan. Oh, I was right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But basically, Bizarro was getting the shit beat out of him by Zod, and the whole, as the doctor said, he was trying to not be like get into it because he doesn't want Zod to basically go, hey, you look like that fucking dork Clark that was here too. Oh, Clark, Superman, Lois Lane's your fiance. I'm gonna fucking kill her.
Yeah.
So we then go to Clark arriving in Pakolistan.
Yes. Yeah.
Who he finds out like this. Oh, this was the assignment. Clark has been asked to go. Basically, Zod has basically like brought in this country back from like destruction, I think.
Yeah,
and like
he's sort of just like posing as like a
president or like leader.
Yeah, it's very, very weird.
He's just like, hey, like I'm gonna fucking take care of this place. Like this is my place now.
Yeah,
and Clark's there to sort of like run the story about it, but he's the whole time he's being like, oh god, he's gonna know it's me. He's like,
yeah, legitimately like
afraid
scared of it. He's talking about
he's the only one who can like fight me as strong as me.
But also he's like the Zod is the only person I dream about killing.
Yeah,
like he's like Zod is too. The stakes of Zod feel really big in this story in a way that I was a little bit surprised actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And basically that's where we meet in the middle here, where we basically like Zod has this like this huge event. Clark is sort of like hiding out in his hotel room because he doesn't want anybody to see him. He pretends like he's sick.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's like, I can't be here. Like, he'll know who I am, and then he'll figure out that Lois is Clark Kent's. What? Like, he's like, I can't. This is bad. And so he flies off into the woods. That's kind of where he meets up with Bizarro.
Well, because
isn't it?
Zod's been told that Bizarro is out in the woods, and he's just like, well, fuck, I'm gonna go get him.
Yeah. Feora sees him, or
Yeah.
Zod sees him, or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, so he basically goes to beat the shit out of him. And
Also, there are like, I don't know if they're meant to be like fifth dimensional imps, but there are imps
Yes.
that are like whispering like evil shit to Bizarro.
Yes.
They're, like, they try to get him to like kill Clark.
Yeah.
There's like weird shit happening with these
Yeah.
little imps
And then
in
there's
the woods too.
Exactly. And then there's this sort of like C plot, which is this woman randomly, like, like, depending on which side you go from, she basically like is already dead, or she jumps off of the top of the tallest building and fucking plummets into a bus. And
Right, but she doesn't die.
no.
They go like, there's no blood on the outside.
And that's when she just pops up and runs away.
Yeah, and they're like, well, I guess she could jump higher next time. Like, they're making like a shitty joke over this corpse, and she pops up and goes, higher building, great advice, thank you.
Yeah.
And like walks away.
Very weird. The thing I do like about that, though, is this like a little bit of this conversation where the cops go, I'm surprised this doesn't happen more. And I'm like,
yeah.
totally. I was like, people who know this guy saves
But
everybody.
she's not meant to be like Kara or something.
I
is
have
she?
no
Because
idea.
She's like blonde.
Yeah, I know.
and-
That's what I thought too, but we're getting no context. So I honestly don't
Yeah.
know. I have to keep reading to
It
figure it
is
out.
interesting because this also feels like an era of Action Comics I just have sort of forgotten. This kind of Joe Kelly
Yeah.
era a little bit. And so
I
it's
really
funny
love
to
this
just
era.
bomb in for one issue and be like, God, like if he didn't mention Imperiex, I'd be like, oh right, Imperiex.
We
Like,
get a little bit of Lex as president here.
right. Yeah.
Lex is there as the president.
Zod's outfit is fucking crazy
Yeah.
too. Like there's a part of it that made me think of
Lex
the
has
way
a,
it was drawn. It
Yeah.
made me think of the Max,
yes, especially the imps.
especially the imps, big time. I mean, I couldn't tell you who the artist of the Max is. It'd be funny if it was just it's them. Like,
Yeah.
it'd be funny if that was just
There
them,
is a great moment where Lex is just like, he basically goes like, people were fucking goose stepping before, and now this guy's like just leading a country. Like,
yeah.
he basically goes like, this guy's Hitler, and everybody's treating him like he's fucking like the savior.
I know it's weird to see Lex be like,
Yeah, where he's suspect.
yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, because Lex is sort of schmoozing Feora.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's an odd book. It's interesting. I mean, I think it's hard to read on its own. I think in the context of what is happening in the story, it would be like an interesting, like, it would be such like a little glass of water, like a palate cleanser kind of thing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this one's backwards. We got Bizarro, blah, blah, blah. But like, just to jump in and read that, you're like, oh man, I got to read so much more to like, get
Yeah?
back into what's happening here.
Wonder what that feels like.
Oh God, I have never
Weird. It's
ever
no.
handed you a book you needed additional context for. How dare you?
What does that taste like? Retribution? I really love the story.
I do too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very good. It's an iconic cover. Like if you just Google search
Yeah.
Bizarro, this cover comes up.
Totally.
It's Ed McGuinness's art.
Yeah.
Very kind of cartoony.
He's got the like
Bizarro #1.
yeah, which is just like, it's like a stone that he carved in Bizarro #1.
Yeah.
Which I really like. Yeah.
I love the Bizarro color scheme thing. A thing that this issue does well that I love is we see the inverted powers of Bizarro. He has heat breath
Yes.
and cryonic vision,
Yeah.
which is interesting. I always liked that about Bizarro, that he had like the flipped powers.
Yes. I love this version of him. I like the relationship with Soups. Like I think that's such a sweet thing, because basically Clark shows up and is like, hey Bizarro, it's your enemy, and he's like,
you remember me, like, but Bizarro like doesn't know who he, like, I think it's because of the glasses and shit. Like,
what he calls him, it's so complicated, but I really, really love the way that he he calls him, because it's not mild-mannered reporter.
Oh, he calls him like aggressive mannered or something like that, like aggressive tempered.
Yeah, I think that's
yeah.
what it is. I fucking love it so much.
It's really cute. Yeah,
it's such a sweet way to describe like him, because he's just like, oh yeah, like he's like, I remember who you are. He their relationship's super cute, and there's this really sad moment where he's basically like, well, Superman's dead, and he's just like, no, Superman's not dead. He's like, no, he's got to be dead, because he's like, Zod was beating the shit out of me, torturing me, and Superman never showed up. Superman always shows up to save you.
Yeah,
it's awful.
Yeah, it's like why would Superman not save me if he was
kicking
alive?
and punching me, and like I didn't like it, and it's like, so Superman must be dead. It's heartbreaking.
It's fucked up. I mean, honestly, the craziest part of this issue is Clark.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the thing he's worried about, but like
to see him like anxious and like,
yeah, he's like having like a real crisis, like personally, and then he's legitimately afraid of Zod, and he's like too much of a coward to save Bizarro. Yeah. He's like, Bizarro could do it. I can't. If I do it, they'll know Superman was here.
Yeah,
like Superman can't just show up in this random country. Yeah. They'll know it's Clark. He's like so paralyzed by that. It's like a very true Clark Kent moment that I think of, like back in like Action Comics #1, Lois calls him like an intolerable coward or something like that. It's like, it's very Clark,
but it forces him to put on the Superman like skin rather than and it's
weirdly like emotional in the middle of an otherwise kind of like
and there would have been a huge battle, but it was interesting because just as Zod is like, okay, I'm gonna fucking kill both of you, and even Superman earlier, like Clark says, he's like, Zod could very well kill me today, and he's like, just as he
talks about like he's a guy who could break my jaw,
and he's like, just as he's gonna beat the shit out of Soups, he goes, Clark's like, you got that party. And he realizes that if he fucking fights, he's going to give up the fact that he's still a piece of shit. Like Zod's still this fucking dictator. So he's just like, all right. He's like, next time I'll fucking see you, I'm going to kill you though.
Yeah.
But he's like, he has to go back because he can't show people that he's actually bad.
Yeah. Because is he hiding that he is Zod?
Well, I don't know,
because he is flying a giant Zed flag.
Yeah, I don't think he's pretending that Zod's good.
He's just playing the part.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird pieces in it. I like it though.
There's a lot going on for something that's a very simple story.
It's an interesting little issue. Yeah,
a lot of like weird like melodrama and like between like him and Lois's relationship, like weird intricacies of like Bizarro.
Perry just being like, yeah, kill yourself.
Yeah. You won't do it. You won't do it.
Back in my day, reporters had stones.
Yeah, we jumped from our building when shit was going wrong.
I was there, 1929.
Yeah. When shit crashed, so did we.
Yeah. I would give this like a solid 4 capes.
I would me give 1 cape.
Oh, so you give 5? Yeah, okay. Me give 2 cape?
4 cape, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Good, we did it.
Bad, we didn't.
Bad, no. Me not host.
Yeah, you got there.
Yep.
All right. Well, with that reading assignment, we move on to a review.
Whoa.
We got a 5-star review, number 136 from Tinder.
I think this was specifically like a match on Tinder.
Yes.
And then like a text
message. So, yes. So, from Yo Crow, it's Scarebro.
I love like deliberately scuttling your dating chances for like a joke.
Look, let's be honest. They were going to find out anyways.
That's true. Better to
take charge of your love life.
Yeah.
Ruin it from the beginning.
Well, I mean, you don't want to have to hide who you are. By that, I mean a person that listens to our show.
Yes. So they provide this with also this message. Oh, yes, I downloaded Tinder, made a profile, swiped right on everyone until I got a match. And this is the only thing I said to them.
Amazing. Can't wait.
5 stars, Dr. DC Podcast in all capitals.
Okay.
Do you like a podcast that will cure the need for emotional connection? Then this podcast isn't for you.
Oh,
These
it's a real Bizarro review.
These Canadian cuckmasters will fill your needs in other ways. Sexually, financially, comedically, or any way you want it, except emotionally. These Yukon sweater-wearing beard bears don't want your emotion. They only want two things: cold hard cash.
True.
Or a muscular woman to step on their throat while they utter a single phrase to embrace the sweet release of death.
Oh.
Hashtag sweet release.
Jesus, I can only get so hard.
So give it a listen and stock up on Slam Bradley's coochie tissues.
I love the self-censorship. He was like, I can't say period wipes. We're a match. This could go somewhere.
Because after these Canadian comic comedians enter your ear holes, you're going to need the super absorbency of Slam Bradley's coochie tissues. Sponsored by Dr. DC Podcast. So, what are you doing? Enough dating, get podcaster baiting.
Wow. Wow. I mean, good Lord. Get podcaster baiting?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that must be a Pornhub term now, right?
Sure.
Podcaster baiting?
Yeah.
Pornhub execs.
Yeah, there's something for everyone. Nobody wanted that. Don't worry.
Do you know what? We were wrong.
Yeah.
Not everything's for everyone.
Rule 32 is a lie.
34.
34, whatever. Me, I'm 32.
You're not.
I'm 34.
Yeah. 4 games. That's amazing. I mean, good Lord. I think what I want to know is, like, did she text back?
I know. I'm desperate to know what the response
It'd be
was.
funny if she texted back a review for a different podcast.
Whoa.
And then you're just like, fucking marry me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just like, I've already listened. Meh.
Oh, my God.
Neg you back?
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
We're already podcast award winners.
Okay.
We are...
You want to be podcast
We're
matchmakers?
government tributed.
Yeah.
We've been honored.
For the rest of time.
In a legislative assembly.
For
We're
the
just
rest of time.
In the public record.
People will be able to look back 100 years from now.
When they want to go back and look at budget reconciliations, they have to look at our name first.
Yeah. When they want to know when that guy was tributed for being like a war vet.
Yeah. They have to see us.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too crazy to set our sights on one day 2 people come together because of their mutual love of our show.
There would be nothing better. That'd be the best accomplishment.
If you and a partner get together, because like your relationship starts on a foundation of both enjoying the show, and you get married, I will officiate. I'll fly out there. I'll make it happen.
But you need to name your first child Clark Winchester.
Little upset I didn't do that, actually. Well, shit.
Yeah.
Damn it. I got snipped too. I can't try again.
I know. Well, there's one of us that can.
For real, though, let us know if you ever fall in love because of our show.
Yeah. Or fall
like,
out
not
of
with us, just like with someone else.
Yeah, no, that'll only end in heartache. So, welcome residents to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
Hello.
Each week we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you.